Hey, welcome to the We're Better Together podcast. I'm Ian Stevenson.
And I'm Daniel Arduña. We come from different backgrounds, but we're working together. So our goal is to help you navigate being better together in the various sectors of your life by bringing you a once-a-month interview and some stimulating thoughts on the weeks in between.
We hope this podcast keeps you tracking on building something better together, whether it's your marriage, your family, your workplace. We want to serve you. So here's today's episode.
Welcome to the We Are Better Together podcast. We just want to welcome you today as we look at something new that we are doing. These are called 10-minute tune-ups. We just want to take an opportunity to share with you today a little bit of encouragement and share a little bit more about why it is that we're doing what we do, or just explain about this idea of being better together. So Ian, as we get into this first 10-minute tune-up, we've been talking about these three words that really speak to the heart of what we're trying to do. And these words are focus, adjust, and persevere. Could you share with our listeners a little bit kind of what is it that we mean by these words? And we can have a little bit of a dialogue and encouragement today.
Yeah, as we were getting this podcast going and talking about how are people really better together, we figured we needed like a mantra, like what is it we want to rally people around? And so we came up with these words, focus and adjust and persevere. And they really came from like what it takes to be better together. With all the different marriages that I know we've both talked to people about, businesses that we've looked at, we've seen a routine. We have to continue cycling through those three words. You have to be focused on the same thing. It doesn't always matter what, but as long as you're focused on the same main thing that you're moving towards together, whether you're a football team, a basketball, you got to have the right focus. And then you've got to adjust along the way. You can have a strategy on how you're going to get there, but it requires adjusting. And the adjusting also involves things like forgiveness, because as you're focusing and moving towards the same things, you're going to step on each other's toes. So you got to forgive each other. You got to communicate along the way so you can make the proper adjustments in order to reach that focused goal. And then you got to persevere, because in the midst of the adjusting, you get tired. You get frustrated with each other and your teammates, and you don't necessarily want to keep going. You get these thoughts in your head about quitting, giving up. It's not going to work. And so persevering is a crucial element. And I think, the persevering is kind of that idea of you've got to have the right spirit, the right hope in order to be able to push through things. And the adjusting is very relational. You got to have that relational component there. And with the focus, that's really like the practical, like, why are we working together? What's the practical thing we're really trying to hit? So those are the three words that we talked about. What are your thoughts on those, Daniel?
Yeah, I think when you share that, and what I think of when you talk about focus, I think maybe one example that comes to mind for me that people could maybe grab a hold of is this idea that instead of saying what we're against or what we're not for, thinking about what are we for. So as we think about being better together and working together, how could we give ourselves focus by saying, what is it that all of us, whether that's two or more people, are trying to be focused on? What are we all for? And where does those roads cross for us? Oh, we just found 1, 2, 3, 4 things that we all find similarity that we are for this. Now that gives us some direction and vision, I think, a little bit to what you're saying in terms of how we can focus ourselves in to being better together.
So good, man. Like when you think about there's so many things we can disagree about, and people do disagree about, and people are so different, right? Even in a marriage, so many differences. But what are the things we agree on? I love that. That helps bring the focus in. That's good.
I think that can help drive, and that can help unite. That can help bring together when we think about this idea, because now we've kind of got a foundation to stand on where we know that we're united. Which I think then leads into some of what you're saying too, when you say adjust. Well, if we've got some common foundation to stand on as we move along, we are going to run into some of those differences. that we may have when we're trying to work better together with people. And
Yeah.
so now all of a sudden, though, we have this foundation, and now since we know that we are actually for something together, we're united in something, we can learn to work together. We can learn to adjust as things come up. We can. I like to think of some of what you said too. Am I willing to change, even in some ways? When I think about you express this word of adjusting, am I open to change? Am I open to looking at something different? And I think maybe once you have that initial foundation that you were speaking about, maybe it allows for us now to be willing to listen to others, to work with others that may do some things different than us, and we're willing to adjust because we're doing it together. And then I think, yeah, as you said, the persevere, this sense that it's going to be a fight, it's going to be a battle. Anytime we want to work together, you're talking about marriage, just a minute ago, you're going to have to fight for things at times. You're going to have to fight to battle through for what it is that you want, that strong marriage that you would desire, that strong friendship that you would desire, that strong co-working relationship or team aspect. And so now we're going to persevere through all of those things that come our way that would try to stop us even at times from being unified.
Yeah. I know so many people in their marriages, they don't really have a vision for their marriage, or even for businesses. Some businesses don't have a vision. They just are doing a task, and they don't have a vision to really make any kind of a bigger difference or do something greater. And I think the bigger that focus thing is, the bigger the vision, the bigger the picture, the more that your heart can buy into it, and you're willing to persevere, and you can make the adjustments that are needed to get there.
Yeah.
When the vision's small, when that thing you're focusing on isn't that compelling, isn't that like really grips your heart type of thing, people give up. That's why, like, when you think of working together in a team environment, a good coach, right? He knows how to rally the team. He knows how to get them focused on what the things they need to be focused on, so that those differences and those other things fall away. And it makes the adjusting easier, and it makes the persevering more interesting, because you really want to see that happen, and you're challenged to it. So I just, for everyone out there, like, as you're thinking about your context, I would just encourage you, man, like, whatever you're in, what is the focus? Like, Daniel, you're a co-pastor at a church, right? So what is the focus of that congregation that you're leading them towards? And what are those adjustments that need to happen along the way? And who is so committed to that vision they're willing to persevere? Like, those are some key questions in that context to ask. But we also have to ask them in our marriage. We also have to ask them in, like, the nonprofit that I run. It's constantly cycling back to those questions. And, the other thing that has come up for me is, like, I don't know about for you, but for me, in times when I feel like giving up or I'm feeling discouraged, it's when I've lost sight of the vision, or I've lost sight of what matters more than maybe the differences. Like, I might even have a teammate who is so different than me and thinks so differently than me that I can be frustrated with them. But when I start realizing how they contribute to what we're focused on together, my appreciation for them goes up, and I'm willing to then adjust and persevere with them more. But it's just, to me, it's like a constant cycle. I don't know about for you. What's been your experience?
Yeah, I think when I think about that foundation, that sense of focus, and so much of what you're saying, when I think about, having been an athlete myself, as well as, yes, co-pastoring now, having that that really, when you have that vision or mission statement, or in the team context, right? Your team is saying, maybe our goal is a championship this year, but in order to get there, here's A, B, C, D that we need in order to get to there. Now you've created that focus. Hey, we're going to eat team meals together. Maybe something that's there. Now, when things start to happen, frustrations even on the field or whatever it is, because you have that strong vision, or where you have disagreements or a captain calls a player out for not doing something, you can come back into that space though and say, hey, let's remember A, B, C, D. And I think when you have that focus in the midst of those frustrations or the midst of chasing after the thing that you're hopeful for, it can really bring you back. And instead of falling apart and being separated, it can actually unite. And so I think that's something that I definitely think about when I think about co-pastoring, when I think about leading other people in our community at the church that we're at. You know, we speak our vision and our mission every single week that we gather. And now you've got something that people know and something that you can call them back to. And when we look at different projects or things we want to do, we're able to say, hey, does it fit this or not? But now we have commonality here so that maybe when we say no, but people understand why it's a no. Yeah. We say yes, people understand why it's a yes. And now we can kind of be together in that as we drive forward.
So good, man. Yeah. So we just want to leave you with these 3 words one more time. You know, whatever context you're fighting for working better together in, whether it's your marriage, whether it's your business, whether it's a team you're on, ask yourself the question, what is the focus that we're pursuing together? Is that clear? Is it compelling? How do we maybe need to adjust right now? Is forgiveness needed? Is there some more relationships or getting to understand each other better that needs to happen? That's adjusting. And then maybe you just got to persevere right now. You got to say that, hey, this goal is worth fighting for and we're going for it. So whatever it is for you, we hope that this 10-minute tune-up has helped inspire you a little bit and helped you be better together. Thanks so much for taking the time to join us today. Have a great week. Hey, thanks so much for tuning in today. If there's anything you heard today that was helpful to you, that you think might be helpful to somebody else,
please like, subscribe, and share this podcast so we can help others be better together as well.